Hi, it's Belinda here with another Parenting Teenagers question. Today's question is, finding relevant and appropriate consequences become harder as they get older. How do we find consequences that teach the heart? The thing is, a consequence is the result of a choice. That's the consequence. And when our children, our teens, they get to this place of being a teenager, they know mostly what is right, and yet they make an unwise choice. Something happens. That's how we know it was an unwise choice. Something happens. Now, if we step in and stop that from happening, we actually stop the consequence from happening. So the best thing to do for teenagers is to let the consequences of their choices happen. And then we come back around and talk about it. I really don't think most parenting or most teenage situations, they don't need us to enforce a consequence on them. What they need is to be able to walk through the consequences of their choices, and then they need a conversation where we can ask, what happened? What did you do? Was that a wise choice, or what was the outcome of that? Would you do it again? Why was it right? Why was it wrong? If it was wrong, and we're going to assume that in this situation you're talking about actions that were wrong, unwise choices. So let's start again. So they've made a choice, something's happened, you need to talk to them. And you can say, I see that this happened. That was an unwise choice. Are you ready to talk about it? And they need to be able to understand what they did wrong, why it was wrong, who it hurt, how they can fix that, and what they would do better next time. And by going through that process, as well as the consequence of their choices, the actual result of their choices, that is how they learn. We don't have to impose anything on them. So, I think that pretty much sums it up. We don't have to impose consequences. We need to let the consequences happen, and then we need to help our teenagers think about what happened and how they can put things right after they've made an unwise choice. Anyway, it's a big conversation because it really does mean that we need to change our mindset about parenting away from making our kids, have punishments, or we might say consequences, but I think our head is so often still thinking punishments. There needs to be more conversation and less threats and less action on our behalf. And instead, we need to help them see why it was unwise and what they could have done differently. And imposing things on them generally just gives them time to be angry at you. And so we want to find ways that helps them be responsible and maintains our relationship so we can continue to walk alongside of them. Anyway, big topic. Drop me a question if you still have questions about this one. See ya.